What's up, guys? How's everyone doing? Hey, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 25,000 times, and you're probably a weatherman. Or a congressman, choose your joke. Before I start my set off tonight, I want to congratulate Whitney Houston on 6 months of sobriety. She did it, guys. She did it. Good for her. Let's go to... I was reading an article about a California man who got drunk at a zoo and decided to climb into the polar bear cage, whereupon meeting Mr. Bear had his arms ripped off. When they asked him why he did this, he said because he was illiterate and he couldn't read the sign telling him not to do that. Now, I have done a variety of stupid things while drunk. I once successfully robbed a Girl Scout. I also once tried to use a balloon as a condom. That was not so successful. By the way, those two stories are not related. Alright, I just want to clear that up now. But if you need a sign, even in your drunkest of states, to tell you not to jump into a ring of death with a wild animal 5 times your size, maybe reading's not your biggest problem. I don't even think you need a sign for that. If anything, there should be a sign on the inside of the cage with its back to the crowd that just says, if you could read this and you don't work here, you fucked up. I can't even believe that there's still illiteracy nowadays. There's still people who can't read. Do you know what country has the highest reading rate of any other country? Cuba. Cuba, that's true. Of course, they can't afford a book, but they're not going to let a little thing like semantics stand in their way. Papi, ¿dónde está el libro? Oh, just shut up and make the damn cigar. Sorry, I don't know how to say that last part in Cuban. But yeah, technically they are number 1. Ironically enough, though, dead last at boat making. Yeah, I know. I thought a refrigerator door was a perfectly good raft. Turns out it's not. It's just shit that floats. These rafts are horrible. That dude Bear Grylls can make a better raft with an empty water bottle, a bundle of sticks, and 10 minutes. He'll be in Miami in like an hour. You guys watch that show? Man vs. Wild? Yeah. Yeah? I love that show. What I think I like most about that show is it really reminds me how quickly I die. I get on top of that mountain like, okay, game plan. Where's the 7-Eleven? I'd love to see that dude Bear Grylls on like Survivor. Just fucking people up. Being like if LeBron played a bunch of fat 4th graders, you know? Everyone on the island would be all malnourished. Bear Grylls would actually gain weight from eating a full boar every night. Everyone would be living in mud huts. He'd build himself a 4-story bamboo mansion with monkey servants running around. And he'd win too, because he's a hunter. So that means he could either hunt for food or the people trying to vote him off. So you want to call a show Survivor, let's get serious. That's something my friends have tried to get me to do, is go hunting. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I ain't going. Because there's a fine line to me between hunting and just getting drunk in a tree. And one of those I don't gotta get up early for. So, they always say the same argument, no bro, it's for the sport of it. You gotta do it for the sport of it. You have an automatic gas-powered rifle with a laser scope and a hair trigger, and you're fighting a fucking deer. I hit one backing out of my driveway the other day. For a second, I thought I was in Jumanji. Turns out I wasn't. The deer's just a fucking moron. You don't need a gun for that. All you need is a Volvo. They always say the same thing, like, no, bro, I use a bow and arrow. Like Robin Hood. That's the sport. Like, Robin Hood used a bow and arrow against people trying to kill him with bows and arrows. That's not a sport either. That's a war. You want a sport, go into the woods with a fork and come out with a bear. Now that is a sport. Then I will be impressed. Here's my wife. But if you come out and both your arms are ripped off, well, you should have read the sign, because you fucked up. It's a callback joke, guys. I was at the dollar store earlier today, and I was buying sponges. So it was an exciting day for all of us. And have you ever been in the dollar store and you got so angry, like just for one reason or another, and then all of a sudden you just really wanted to smash something? Then you remembered, wait a minute, I'm in the dollar store. I can do whatever the hell I want here. You can trash the entire place, then just walk up to the counter and throw a 20 down. And all they'll say to you is, hey, forgot your change. I was watching my friend's kid earlier this week. Well, I was babysitting him. I wasn't like sitting in a van and watching him in the park. Okay? I was babysitting him. And his name is Charlie. Actually, his name's not actually Charlie. I just call him that on stage because he's Korean. Well, thank you. But he was watching Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I got a question for you. What were those 7 dwarves whistling about? You know that whistle while you work? They worked in a fucking coal mine! Have you ever seen a coal miner whistle? Hell no! And do you know why? Because coal mining's a shitty job. You work long, back-breaking hours for shitty pay in a hole in the ground which may or may not kill you. Gee, that just sounds peachy. Let's say the earth doesn't crush their tiny little bones. You're still working with 6 other midgets. How good could productivity be, honestly? And keep in mind the dwarves you're working with. One of them is a fucking asshole, like, all the time. Grumpy. You remember him. Another one running around with a pickaxe that you gotta watch because he's borderline retarded. One son of a bitch who can't stop sneezing, and that shit is annoying. Have you been around someone who can't stop sneezing? I'll give him 2 God bless you, and I'm out the fucking door. One narcoleptic who sleeps through half his damn shift. And another son of a bitch who's happy all the time. Ugh. That's more annoying than the asshole and the sneezer combined. It's like that guy in your office on Monday morning who's always so chipper to be there. Hi there, how are ya? Fuck you. Last time I checked, this job sucks. Then your self-proclaimed leader calls himself Doc. Doctor of what? Getting black lung next to me? Where did he get his medical license? The Philippines? Those dwarves are full of shit, man. You've really grown at that. You're really going to grow at this one. I was walking down the street earlier, and about 150 yards ahead of me, there was this girl, all right, and she was looking good. All right, she was walking towards me. And as we're getting closer and closer, my thoughts are getting dirtier and dirtier. Until I got about 10 feet away from her and I realized she was 13 years old. I know, I was disgusted too. Because normally that's too old for me. I like them young guys. Like a fetus would be perfect. Problem is, you never meet a fetus at a bar. And if you do, it's always in a trash can or a toilet. Sorry, I was just thinking about my prom. I've been doing a lot of traveling lately. It's never really come back, so I'm just going to go to the next joke. I was doing a lot of traveling lately. I don't know if you guys know this, but when you get outside the tri-state area, people, how do I put this? People are really nice. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't like it. I'm not a fan. I'm used to Jersey, where we're all a bunch of bastards. And I'm comfortable with that. I like that. Like if you go down south, that southern hospitality thing, that's real. That exists. You know, if you're white. But, like I was in Savannah, Georgia, and I asked this woman in a pickup truck directions to a 7-Eleven. She said, well, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go right through this lot and, oh, hell, just jump in, I'll give you a ride. That would never happen in Jersey. I can go outside right now and be like, hey buddy, you know where 7-Eleven is? Yeah, make a ride that light and go fuck your mother. Fucking asshole. Jesus. I like Slurpees too. I was outside a comedy club in New York City, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but floating above lower Manhattan a couple months ago was this gray thing, all right? Now I'm not going to be one of those weirdos that comes out and says, oh, it was a UFO. But it looked like a fucking UFO, okay? So I'm sitting there staring at this thing, and I say to the guy next to me, hey buddy, look at that. Isn't that weird? He says, I don't give a fuck. And he walks away. He walks away. He's worried about his latte and his BlackBerry. I'm waiting for a laser beam to shoot down and blow this bitch up. Then Bill Pullman will make a great speech, and Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum will save the world. I know what you're thinking, guys. Before you left the house tonight, you thought, man, I just hope one of these comics makes an Independence Day reference. That just happened. That actually got me thinking, like, if aliens were to attack this planet, why is it up to us as humans to defend it? You know we're not the only animals here, right? Like, why can't a lion do anything? Or a bear? How funny would it be to watch a bear maul an alien? Or why can't dolphins step their game up? I'll tell you what, dolphins can do the same thing they've always done. Jack shit. Still holding a grudge from SeaWorld, I guess. People always say dolphins, they're so smart. They're so smart. How do you know? How do you know? I haven't seen a dolphin do anything but swim around, eat fish, and go, and that's it. I get to see one of them on Jeopardy, or working at an Apple store, or even clothed, and for Christ's sakes, Canadians figured that out. I tell you what, they're not smart enough to get out of those fucking nets. And that's first grade shit. You sit there, help, I'm in the net, I'm in the net. No, wait, no, I'm out. Not the dolphin. Right into my sandwich. Is it wrong that I secretly hope there's chunks of dolphin in my tuna? Well, if that's wrong, I don't want to be right. I'm gonna leave. I'm sweating like a fag eating a hot dog. I'm gonna get out of here in a minute. I'll tell you what. Everybody single here? Any single people? Yeah. Yeah? One guy? By himself. Crying in the darkness. Nobody loves me. That was a suicide joke. It's terrible being single, because you go on these dates with these women, you gotta come up with a fake job and a fake income, and tell them stories that you blatantly just stole from movie plots. Like, oh, I remember this one time me and 10 of my buddies robbed a casino in Vegas. It was great. George was there, Brad, the dames, it was great. But I just broke up with this one girl because she was in fact a retard. Well, she wasn't actually retarded. I have some standards. They're low, but they're there. And she would just constantly put me in these bad situations all the time. And this one was the final straw. I was out drinking with a couple of my buddies, and she called me up and said, hey, do you want to go out and get some dinner? I said, sure, that'd be great. So she picks me up, boom, we go to the restaurant. Now there's no parking by the restaurant, so I gotta park like 3.5 blocks away. We get 10 feet from the car, and she says, oh no. Which is obviously how I want every sentence to begin. She says, oh no, I locked the keys in the car. And she's looking at me like I graduated the Academy of Grand Theft Auto. Like, I grew up in the suburbs. So, me being all chivalrous, I look around. And the only place open is a Planned Parenthood. Do you know how awkward it is walking to an abortion clinic and asking for a coat hanger? Yeah, it's too seconds. I need it real quick outside. 2 seconds, Kyle. All right, guys. I'm Dan Farley. You have yourselves a great night.